That's a lot of money for taxpayers to be on the hook for.
The Prairie's director for the National Police Federation, Kevin HALWA, says the transition study from the Alberta government was vague, citing transition costs for a provincial police force would total $366 million over 6 years, along with an additional $139 million annually.
I would strongly suggest that $366 million is not even accurate anymore. I suspect it's much, much higher than that. And again, that's if things are on time and on budget.
The organization calling themselves Keep Alberta RCMP says the federal government pays 30% of the RCMP policing costs in our province, which amounts to $185 million annually. UCP leadership candidate hopeful DANIELLE Smith is in favor of bringing in a provincial police force to Alberta. She says she has heard from residents that are frustrated about slow response times from the RCMP in rural and urban areas when it comes to crime.
So many of our calls that are being responded to are mental health calls, are addiction calls, and we need a force that can better connect people who are in that kind of distress with the health system and the services that they need to be able to get clean from drugs so that they can get back into having a normal, independent life.
Meanwhile, over in Colehurst, Alberta, the town receives policing from the Coaldale RCMP detachment and from the town of Picture Butte. Councillor Jesse POTRIE says the town is not in support of bringing in a provincial police force.
I don't see there being any benefit to the taxpayers of Colehurst because all I see is the additional tax burdens, whether it's taxed through the provincial income taxes or other ways, right? But there's no tangible increased level of service that we've seen or any information given from the provincial government on that.
On the other side of Lethbridge sits the town of Coaldale, which is the only area in Alberta that has to pay 100% of the costs for the RCMP. Coaldale Mayor Jack Van Ryan acknowledged the provincial police force could be a more viable option.
We as a council currently have no problem with the RCMP. Our problem is with the RCMP's bosses in Ottawa.
Now, all of this is still speculation, as the Alberta government still hasn't committed as to whether they'll actually implement this provincial police force. For Bridge City News, I'm Micah Quinn.